Hello, everyone. I'm Alex Macheras, aviation analyst and frequent flyer. But like you, I haven't been flying very much over the last few months. In fact, I have been completely at home as international borders remain closed, flights were suspended, and the world did their part in curbing the COVID-19 spread. This crisis is something the aviation sector has never faced before. The only way we can have this industry recover is if we give people the confidence to connect via air travel again. I crowdsourced many opinions from my social media channels to be able to find out what are the expectations when it comes to the measures for air travel. Many people agree that hygiene is probably going to be the focus for air travel amid the pandemic. Several passengers called for hygiene kits to be distributed. Some airlines have been very forward-thinking with this in supplying them to passengers, and the feedback has been very positive. At the same time, there was a general consensus that less interactions, the better. This is something that airlines will need to be considering as part of their passenger confidence building. I'm on a call with Finnair's CEO, Topi Manner, to find out how they're giving their passengers peace of mind on board their flights. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. What's Finnair's plans to get the aircraft back in the air with passengers on board, of course, over the next 6 months?
We ask all of our passengers to use masks during the flight. And in addition to that, we are onboarding the aircraft from the rear in order to limit the mobility within the aircraft. We are adjusting onboard service to minimize the contact between our personnel and the passengers, and so on and so forth. So these measures are designed to boost customers' comfort and confidence related to flying.
Nordic airline and the flag carrier Finland, Finnair, have been a really great example at implementing various health protection measures throughout the air travel process in order to build up international travel as quickly as they can. But are these health measures enough? The short answer is yes. Some airlines have been really proactive with this, and this hasn't gone by unnoticed. But can more be done? Many users brought up on Instagram what is becoming the most talked about topic of COVID-19 air travel right now: social distancing. At this time, it's probably not sustainable for the long term. If we were to social distance passengers in that cabin, we would be taking capacity down to around 62%. The problem for airlines is that they don't typically break even until around the 77% mark in terms of passenger capacity.
An aircraft is a pretty similar environment in terms of virus transmission than an office space would be or a shopping mall would be. We need to mitigate the health-related risks by other means.
It's already becoming evident just how important it is to be able to enforce policies like mandatory masks. The risk of droplets moving from one passenger to another in a very close environment remains, and that risk can be virtually eliminated if all passengers have their masks on. While flying habits may or may not have changed, what definitely has changed is the uncertainty over where people can fly. It seems that many still have air travel confidence to be able to fly, but not when there is uncertainty from the fluid and dynamic situation that COVID-19 has become. Many passengers have had to cancel their trips at the last minute because of last-minute quarantine periods being imposed at their destination. In-out quarantine periods are simply not sustainable for the long term. And there are ways now in which airlines, airports, governments, and public health authorities are collaborating to roadmap replacements to these quarantine periods. So if we do have to travel, I asked, what is the number one COVID-19 health protection measure passengers expect or want to be in place before they fly? Rapid, reliable testing is becoming clear to be one of the few extremely strategic and effective ways into building up that air travel recovery and bringing back peace of mind for passengers. A South Korean developed rapid reliable test is currently underway, and test results can be given to passengers in less than 12 minutes. Now, this could really bring back a significant amount of peace of mind for passengers if flights declared as COVID-free. Global shocks like 9/11 had the capacity to shape and determine how air travel looks today. Using this precedent, we have the ability to do this with COVID-19, but this time with a renewed focus on hygiene. If we can tell the world that yes, as passengers, you will arrive to your destination, you will be able to enter, here's what will be expected of you, then that reassurance will give passengers the peace of mind to get back into the skies.
We want to be predictable and we want to be reliable for our customers, and we want to do what we can to enable that on this otherwise very uncertain environment.
At the end of the day, we are in a battle to defeat the uncertainty. We need the peace of mind for passengers who are either thinking about flying or flying and are concerned about the implications throughout the air travel process. For us to come out of this crisis thriving, air travel needs to ensure that all stakeholders are working together to ensure that they are able to create the new normal for air travel.
We would advocate for is global standards in terms of health and safety, and I think that would be very beneficial. We would be looking at global collaboration. That would be definitely preferable, not only for airlines but definitely for the traveling audience.
The key takeaways are: number one, implementing confidence-building measures for the entire aviation process. Airlines that are implementing a layered approach with their measures are continuing to push the risk down while rebuilding passenger confidence, especially those airlines that are going further by communicating their measures to ensure better passenger understanding. For passengers, it's already becoming quite clear there is a difference between those airlines that appear that they are putting in all of the efforts and those airlines that are simply not. 2, COVID-19 testing as a strategy. Testing remains one of the few strategic options available to airlines, and the stronger the collaboration between airlines, airports, governments, and public health agencies surrounding testing, the better. We're already seeing nations use testing as one of their options to remain open and restore air travel demand while remaining committed to public health. And finally, 3, harmonization and a global standard. If everyone is able to harmonize, then together we can collectively drive longer-term aviation recovery. If there's less patchiness, but more consistency, then together we can define the new normal for aviation, rebuild passenger confidence, and begin to connect people together in the way aviation does so well. I'm Alex Macheras, aviation analyst. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the skies again soon.